Hey friends, Nubs11 here, and today I'm going to preview Division 3 Season 6 of the Big O League. So the Big O is the league I'm currently playing in on the Blood Bowl 2 game. The Big O is the Australian League. I've started down in Division 3 because it is my first time playing in the league. I have actually had my first game. But I thought I'd sort of go over. I don't know too much about the coaches in the leagues. I haven't seen any of them play before, well, apart from one. But I thought I'd go through the teams and sort of give people a little bit of an idea of what I think the teams look like and how I think the team will go. We've got a few teams that have got a little bit of TV about them, apart from my poor team. But yeah, so let's have a look. We'll start from we'll start from the top. And move our way down. So we've got, it looks like everyone's played their games because we've got 4 teams on a win and 4 teams on a loss. So we'll start with the Dwarfs. Goal Dwarf, coached by, I'm sorry if I butcher people's names, DJ Lurun. I don't know how to say that one. That one escapes me. We've got the second page here. Where are we? There we go, the Dwarves. So Gold War, or Gold Wharf. Let's have a look what we got here. So we've got Troll Slayer, 2 Troll Slayers, 2 Blitzers, 2 Runners, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5 Longbeards or linemen. We've got an APO, 3 rerolls, 4 fan factor. So straight off the bat, the team is pretty solid. We've also got a decent smattering of skills. We've got 2 move boosts. Move boost on a runner is really good on the dwarf team. I know a certain dwarf team that actually has like a move 8 runner, and it's just insane. You can just do some crazy things that people don't normally expect you to do. With dwarves, he can just explode out of the gates. He's got a move boost on a blitzer. Not sure how I feel about that. I feel like it's decent. It would definitely be something I would experiment with. I know a few people are of the belief that anytime you get a move boost on a dwarf team, no matter what the play, you take it. And I think taking it on going from 5 to 6 with a blitzer is pretty good. So sorry, I'm gonna have to click on people because I don't know all the skills. So we've got a dodge guard dwarf. Yeah, that's really solid. We've got frenzy, so they don't have any skills yet. Okay, yeah. So the team, and is that guard as well? So we've got a couple of guard, we've got a couple of move boosts. The team is pretty set in terms of the team's not going to be buying anything extra. The team will probably buy 1 more lineman, maybe 2, just to pad out the team, do some fouling, whatever else. But yeah, this team looks like it's set up to do good things, so I can definitely see how they won their first game. And I would predict that they will do fairly well in the season ahead. So who have we got next on our leaderboard? We got the Chaos Dwarves, Liam's Chaos Dwarves, who I actually have up next. The Emperor Says. I'm sure there's more to that, but I can't read what it is. So what have we got here? We've got 2 Bulls, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blockers, 6 blockers, and 3 Hobgoblins, 3 rerolls, 5 fan factor, and APO. So first thing you want to look at with the Chaos Dwarves is what the Bulls are looking like, and the Bulls are looking good. They're both block, break, tackle. What more do you want in Bulls? We've got 2 blockers with Mighty Blow. Looking at this team just straight off the bat, really solid. The Bulls are the stars of the Chaos Dwarf team. The blockers just sort of enhance that, I guess, and having 2 Mighty Blow, fairly good. It'll be interesting to see how this team matches up against the other dwarf team, or the dwarf team, if Liam doesn't manage to roll any claw, especially since he's got a bit in the treasury. Is that my treasury? I don't know what that is. Can I see his treasury? I'm not sure. Anyway, I would expect that he will buy a few more Hobgoblins, probably another 2 or 3 Hobgoblins. I would be very interested to know, it looks like, can I see the stats from the players? Yes. Yeah, 4 touchdowns. So it looks like he carries the ball with his Bull Centaurs. So it'll be interesting to see how they develop. Block break tackle is just super solid to start. I assume one will probably go sure hands next. That'll carry the ball a little bit more. they get a stat boost, something like that. An edge boost is amazing on a bull, strength boost, move boost, all amazing on bulls. So yeah, again, really, really solid, and I would expect this team to do very well early on, given how developed the bulls are, and I think they can, yes, really steamroll from there, particularly with 2 Mighty Blow. I like the 2 Mighty Blow because it helps the blockers skill up to get guard, or to get claw, get something like that. So I like that early on. It doesn't necessarily help you win games because it doesn't always affect the game as much as you would like in terms of a guard or something like that, because you still do have to roll the dice for Mighty Blow to have an impact on the game. But yeah, I like it in terms of developing the team. So again, I think the Chaos Dwarves here will do very, very well come the start of the season. Oh, I went back too far. Alright, let's have a look who's next on our list. The Rats of the Ancient. So, Atomic Caleb. So I just played this team, and he beat me 1-0. A little bit of a rough game for the Bretonnians, but well played by Atomic Caleb. So the first thing that sticks out to me here is we've got 13 players but no Rat Ogre. I know talking to Atomic Caleb already, he doesn't like the Rat Ogre. I disagree. I love the Rat Ogre. I think he's the best big guy in the game, followed by the Kroxigor, but that's personal preference. I can speak about Caleb, I guess, a little bit more on a coaching level or a playing level because I have played him. The one thing I'll say is that he did seem to man up my players a lot with his players. I think I ended up throwing like 54 blocks or something like that, or 54 succeeded blocks, take off a few pushes and whatever else, but I only broke armor 9 times. I think against a team that has like a smattering of Mighty Blow, or where the dice are a little bit more averaged, I guess, you're going to have a lot more armor breaks and the team's going to suffer as a result. I know you want to throw the lineman. The lineman sort of protects the other guys here, but at the same time you don't want to just willingly throw the lineman or any of your players away. So that would be one thing that I would watch out for, that this team doesn't get, particularly with Dwarf Team and Chaos Dwarf Team, doesn't get too badly injured and sort of limps over the line. I love the skills. So we've got a Mighty Blow on a Storm Vermin. I actually probably prefer Guard on a Storm Vermin first, but I can see, again, Mighty Blow in a league format, it helps develop the player a little bit quicker. I love the Wrestle Gutter Runner. I love that. I'm a big fan of that. I think having a Gutter Runner as a ball sacker is really, really good. We've got a block, we've got a 2 heads Gutter Runner, we've got a kick lineman, again, really, really good. I do love kick on rats. But yeah, one thing I would say is I think this team may struggle a little bit missing the Rat Ogre. I think the Rat Ogre is a really, really important piece. Some people may disagree. Some people don't like big guys. Caleb disagrees. He doesn't like the Rat Ogre. Personal preference, but I think the team will do well. But I think there could be one game where they just cop 5-6 injuries and they find it hard to recover from there. So, which is just what happens to rats sometimes. So we have another Chaos Dwarf team. So just to give a sort of spread, we've got 2 Chaos Dwarves, a Dwarf, a Skaven, Khemri, 2 Lizardmens, and then my Bretonnians. But our second Chaos Dwarves, Masters of Div 1. How are we looking with them? 1, 2, 3. So let's have a look. So our Bull Centaurs here. So straight away we've got a move boosted Bull Centaur, which is amazing. We've got a block Bull Centaur. So this team is developing really well. It looks like he's Masters of Div 1 because I think he's named his players after Div 1 coaches. I like it. Edge 1 blocker. We don't really care about that. I mean, he doesn't have anything. If he had treasury in the bank and this guy still doesn't get anything, he could cut him. But it's definitely not a crucial thing. He's got a claw, so might be able to do something against the other few AV9 teams. The only thing I will say with the Dwarves and Chaos Dwarves is that with 2 Lizardmen teams in the league, they're going to want to try and get as much guard as they can early on to deal with the Saurus, otherwise the matchup becomes a little bit difficult. Wow, how's that guy blue? That's cool. Yeah, otherwise the matchup does become a little bit difficult because you can't catch the Skinks. Even though you've got the tackle and block, you can't catch the Skinks and the Saurus armor 9, strength 4, tough to deal with. But yeah, looking at this team, I love the Bull, move 7, love it. Once he gets, I would almost even be tempted to go break tackle on him next before I go block, just because of how mobile he'll be. it's just so good when you can move wherever you want with a Bull Centaur, but definitely would see going block next. We've already got another block one. Just have a quick look. I'm going to assume he scores with his Bull Centaurs too. Yeah, 4 touchdowns scored. So yeah, it's sort of a contentious thing amongst players, I guess, whether you score with the Bull Centaur or whether you score with the Hobgoblins. What do we got? We've got a Hobgoblin with dodge as well, just randomly smattered in there. 3 rerolls again and an APO. So 3 rerolls and an APO seems to be pretty standard on all the teams that have won their first game. I would expect this team to do well, but again, it's going to depend how quickly this guy can get his next skill, and it's going to depend how quickly this guy can get his next skill. The other Chaos Dwarf team already has block break tackle on both bulls, Liam's team, so they're sort of just that little bit step above, and it can be hard sometimes to get the skills on the Bull Centaurs if you're not getting the touchdowns with them. You're still picking the ball up on a 4, so yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they develop. And who have we got up next? Up next we have the Khemri. Nice. Et tu Eric, the Peacock. They were Yasmir's Chaos Dwarves as well. So the Peacock. Et tu the Khemri. Where are we? Here we go. Et tu Eric, the Khemri. I enjoyed some of those poses. That's good. Alright, so what have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4 Tomb Guardians. Okay, I like it. Any skills on Tomb Guardians? Guard. We've got a blocking Tomb Guardian. That's actually awesome. We've got a Mighty Blow. Yeah, that's Mighty Blow. I should have a little cheat sheet here of what all the different skills are. And we've got a Thrower. Only 1 Thrower. Okay. Has he got any extra skills? Nah, Leader. Okay, interesting. So we just start Leader, 3 rerolls, so 4 rerolls on the team. I guess you do enjoy rerolls with Khemri. We've got a Dirty Player, Skelly. Yeah, so the team is a little bit underdeveloped, I guess. Can I see how many games they've played? So they've played 5 games. I mean, Khemri are a team that are very, very hard to develop. They're a team that people... Yeah, like, your Tomb Guardians, you can't score with them. I mean, unless you get pretty lucky. Your Blitzras, again, I mean, you can score with them, but it can be a little bit difficult. Your... one Thrower is interesting to me. I wonder how much money he's got in the treasury and whether he can get the second one. I think the Throwers are very, very good, very, very good piece to have on the team, or player to have on the team. They're perhaps a little bit underrated. The Skelly's interesting that we've gone Dirty Player just straight up the bat. That sort of, I guess, shows where he wants to take the team. He wants to take the team to be a very bashy sort of team. I played Khemri for a while, and I sort of enjoyed playing them as more of a control team more than a straight out bash team. I liked having the guard, the stand firm, frenzy, just so I can control where their players are going. And in controlling the game, you get enough blocks that eventually the weight of blocks that you throw should be enough to get players off the pitch anyway. But having a Dirty Player skeleton is never a bad thing. So yeah, this team, I think they may struggle purely based on the fact that they are Khemri. And Khemri coming out of the blocks are a lot slower to develop and have some difficult matchups early on, particularly if some of those, the couple of those dwarf teams and the Chaos Dwarf or the one dwarf team and the Chaos Dwarf teams can get some guard. And I think Lizards is quite a difficult matchup for Khemri too. So yeah, let's move on to our next. So we've got Bobo Majo, the Lizard Men, Scrub Lord Pro. Let's have a look. Scrub Lord Pro. What have we got here? So we've got a Croxagore. I like it. Oh, he copped a Saurus missing for his next game. That's a little bit rough. But he does have the full complement of Saurus. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so he's got the full Saurus straight away. 3 rerolls. Apo. 2, 4 Skinks. I mean, the team has all the pieces it needs, all the players it needs. He's got one Bloxsaurus. Again, this is a little bit worrying. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so 5 of the 6 Saurus don't even have a single star player point. That's going to make you struggle. We've got a Skink that seems to be the one that's taking all this. All the star player points, must be scoring all the touchdowns. We've got a Sure Feet, we've got a Sprint on him. I like it. I also like Sidestep on Skinks. Excuse me while I click on everyone. A Jump Up Skink, interesting. I don't hate it, but I think maybe a Sidestep. I like, on my Skinks, I like Sidestep, I like Sure Feet and Sprint's fine on one of them. I like Diving Tackle. I think Diving Tackle is really good and a really underrated skill. But yeah, I think this team, again, Lizards are one of those teams, once they get rolling, they can be amazing, but it really depends on what happens down here and what can happen here. So if these Saurus sort of all sit with no skills, they have to be really, really carried by the Skinks, and so the Skinks, I would expect the Skinks to start turning into superstars. Otherwise, if the Saurus start getting some skills, get a few block, get a few break tackle, then they can sort of be carried, or they can carry the Skinks a little bit more, and you can just have some sort of bland Skinks that just have regular old skills. So yeah, I think they can definitely be a good team, particularly in how this this league's shaped, but it will be interesting to see how they go. So we've got our second Lizardmen team, Perfecto. Is that what it said, or did I read that? Oh no, it was Perfecto. So let's have a look what we've got here. So, oh yeah, we've got a Crocs. We're gonna how many Saurus? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Did I count that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So again, 6 Saurus, but again, no Saurus with any skills. And it looks like this one might have a niggling injury. Yeah, so that hurts a little bit, but you can't really cut that. Skinks, we got 2 Skinks with skills, both with Sure Feet, and one with Catch. Okay, so interesting how he's gone the oh, and then Armor 6 Skink. That hurts a little bit. That guy's probably getting cut soon, or he might just go on the line and live out his life. We've only got 2 rerolls on this team though. Interesting that he's gone 2 Sure Feet and what have I got on this one, and a Catch. Yeah, so two Sure Feet. I don't really like Sure Feet as a first skill. I think there's just way better first skills for Skinks. Sure Feet, giving them Sure Feet sort of, I mean, they move 8, so it's not like they're slow, and giving them Sure Feet makes them, I guess, de facto move 9, because you're not afraid to go for it, particularly with those 2 players every turn, but I feel like you don't really need to move the 9 if you're utilising the move 8 that well, particularly when you got, if he's got his full complement of players here. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players. Well, this guy, Armor 6, but he's got 5 players that move 8, and the Saurus still and Crocs still move 6, so Lizards aren't a slow team by any means, and Sure Feet is an interesting first choice for both Skinks. I could see maybe going 1 Sure Feet, but even then I sort of like Sidesteps and Diving Tackle. Sidestep is a very annoying skill, Diving Tackle is a very annoying skill, and I think you've sort of got to back yourself that you can score with the move 8 without having Sure Feet, but yeah, this Lizard team, it looks in a little bit worse shape than the other Lizard team, so this one might struggle a little bit more. It has got a lot more spattering of star player points, so we've got only 1 Saurus that doesn't have star player points, as opposed to the other team which had 5 Saurus that didn't. So an MVP on any of these Saurus, a couple of games, you know, this guy gets a star player point, or gets a casualty, and this guy gets an MVP. Suddenly we've got 2 skills on Saurus, and we can start sort of steamrolling the team from there. So it'll really depend on how often the MVP can land on one of these Saurus as to how this team goes. And 2 rerolls, I don't hate that. 2 rerolls is fine, that's manageable. And who have we got? Oh, lucky last, my team. I guess I'll go through my team a little bit. So my team, the Silverhand Knights, the Bretonnians. I didn't play any of the spin games, so we just played with the straight up roster, 2 rerolls and Apo, which in hindsight I wouldn't have started with the Apothecary. I don't think there's really that much point, because I started with 4 blitzers, 2 blockers. So yeah, I probably wouldn't have started with the Apothecary. Probably would have gone an extra reroll, but yeah, so the team's got no skills on it. I did manage to get the MVP on a blitzer, which is really nice. I'll probably just try and throw a comp with him next game just so he skills up. But yeah, the Bretonnians aren't a terrible starting roster, but they're not a great starting roster either. They don't really particularly excel at anything, but they're not quite as good as an all-round team as like an undead or a human team. So they struggle a little bit early on, but the blitzers, given their skill access of general agility and passing with strength on a doubles, you can really turn these guys into superstars, provided they can get the star player points. Didn't manage to score a touchdown my first game, but like I said, a little bit rough. So if I was to give a prediction of how the sort of scoreboard or the leaderboard would look at the end of the season, I would probably say that these 3 teams here, the Chaos Dwarves and the Dwarf team, should be somewhere up near the top, just judging on teams as they're built at the moment. I'd expect probably the Khemri and myself maybe to struggle a little bit and be a little bit closer down to the bottom. Again, the Khemri can start getting on a roll, get a few skills on Tomb Guardians, get a few skills on Blitz Ras, Throw Ras, and they can really start getting a bit ahead of steam. But it can also go terribly, terribly wrong for the Khemri. They lose a Tomb Guardian, and it's a whole different ball game. The Lizardmen team and the Rats, I think Rats are one of those teams where you always expect them to be up there, thereabouts, but they really struggle to sort of push on to the next level unless they develop some real superstars, and provided they don't suffer any injuries. So if Caleb can keep his team clear of injuries and can start developing the gutter runners into some superstar players, then I think he's got a real shot at sort of winning the division. The 2 Lizardmen team, again, there's an interesting stat actually where in the Melbourne League, tabletop league that I play in, a coach had an Edge 4 skink, and he actually never lost a game until that Edge 4 skink, from when he got that Edge 4 skink until that Edge 4 skink died. It was direct correlation between him winning every single game and then the game that Edge 4 skink died. That was the first game he lost. So if they can get some Edge 4 on some skinks, get some doubles on some skinks, they can really do some work, but they can be held back a little bit by the Saurus. So if I was to predict a winner based on the current way the teams currently are, and I mean it's very early on and I don't know much about coaches, but I would say that Liam's Chaos Dwarves are really well poised with the 2 skills on the Bull Centaurs, and probably say the other Chaos Dwarves look decent as well with a move boosted Chaos, a Bull Centaur. They got 1 claw already, so they've got a little bit of an advantage against the other Armor 9. And I think battling for the Wooden Spoon, depending on how my team develops, will probably be myself. Using the Bretonnians as sort of a little bit of an experiment for me to see how good they are in league play. And maybe, yeah, probably, I'd say probably, well, one of the Lizards have taken a little bit of pain too, so yeah, I'd say probably my hope would be to finish sort of around here somewhere with this team, particularly given how far behind they've started. But yeah, that's my prediction or my sort of brief overview of season or Division 3, Season 6 of the Big O League. I would love to hear what other people think. I'd love to hear what the other coaches in the division think, given that I don't know anything about any of the coaches. I would love to hear perhaps the reasoning behind some of their skills, if I disagreed with them or if they disagreed with me, all that sort of thing. So thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel for some more Big O and Blood Bowl 2 and potentially Fumble content. I've also just started a new job, so life has been a little bit difficult to organise another episode of Quick Snap, but we will hopefully be able to organise that soon. So yeah, thanks for tuning in, and until then, I will see you next time.